Good morning, and welcome to All Faiths Unitarian Congregation on this chilly Sunday morning. It's good to have you here. I haven't seen this many jackets since we left Minnesota. My name is Greg Monk, and I will be leading our service today. Here you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs. You can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive heart. Here at All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. No matter who you are, wherever you may be on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are truly welcome here. It looks like we might have some folks visiting for the first or second time. Would you raise your hands if you are new to us? Well, welcome. We're very glad to have you with us today. If you'd like to know more about All Faiths, you can certainly see Fran Way after the service at the Welcoming Corner, which is just behind the bifold doors, or on our website at www.allfaithsuu.org. We have a few announcements this morning. Monday, our office is closed for the holiday, and also on tomorrow, Monday, is the MLK Day March and Celebration at Legacy Park. We march to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his work to complete, and we work to complete his unfinished business. Please come march with us. We meet at the Dunbar Community School. It starts at 10 a.m. Wear your yellow All Faiths t-shirts if you have one, and you can also participate at the All Faiths table at the celebration at the Centennial Amphitheater, which runs from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and you can see the bulletin board for details. On Wednesday, January 25th at 3:30 p.m., we will be having a movie night and dinner. Come see the award-winning movie Time, followed by discussion and a wonderful dinner. Apparently, we'll be enjoying Bob DeGalbo's secret family meatball recipe, plus meatless lasagna, salads, Italian bread, and dessert. Buy your tickets today after the service. Let's see. Also, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Is the Care and Support Team meeting. Wednesdays at 1, we have a board meeting. Thursdays, 1 p.m. is the Heart for Homeless team meeting, and at 2 o'clock is our choir rehearsal. Fridays, 2 p.m., Dominoes at All Faiths, and on Sunday mornings prior to the service, we have a news talk with Ray Ellis at 9:15. Also on Sundays during the service, our child and youth program with Kath Fanny is going. And I think Marcia has an announcement as well. Oh, probably, huh? There you are. You're welcome.
Good morning. My name is Marcia Bates, and I'm one of this congregation's team leads for our involvement with Lee Interfaith for Empowerment, which goes by the acronym LIFE. This is a coalition of 15 congregations that work on social justice issues here in Lee County. So, is anyone here concerned about or heard about the lack of affordable housing in Lee County? Yes. Well, for 3 years, LIFE worked to urge City Council to establish an affordable housing trust fund, which is to be used to encourage the development of affordable housing here in the city. This Thursday morning, you have an opportunity to take concrete action to help solve the housing shortage. LIFE's Affordable Housing Action Team has scheduled a meeting on January 19th at 10:30 a.m. with Marty Lawling, Fort Myers City Manager, and other city officials. LIFE wants to learn about the city's progress, or lack thereof, toward establishing the policies and procedures related to the use and disbursement of affordable housing trust funds. They've been trying to get information, but it hasn't been flowing very freely. So, We want to show city officials that many of their constituents are concerned about the housing shortage and want policies and procedures implemented now so affordable housing can be built here in Fort Myers sooner rather than later. So that's where you come in. If you show up, we can show them people power. So if you want to participate, be at Covenant Presbyterian, the church that is about 5 blocks north of here on McGregor, at 9:15 on the 19th. Life is going to lead a short meeting to strategize how to best approach city officials during this meeting. Then the group will move. They want everybody to go as a group to City Hall for the 10:30 meeting with Mr. Lawling and the other city officials. I urge you to take advantage of the opportunity to combat the housing crisis in our community simply by showing up. So if you have questions, you can ask me after the service. And thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. Now please rise in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. You'll find the words on the back of your order of service. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. I have asked Carol Heisberg to come forward to light our chalice, and as she does so, if you would please join in reciting the words that you will find again in our order of service. As we light our chalice, let us contemplate how we can build a better tomorrow. Thank you. And if you would now please join in singing Go Now in Peace as our children leave for our child and youth program with Kathy Fanny. Oh, you know, I apologize. You are correct. It's different on my order of service here than what I was given. So I guess we are then doing joys, sorrows, and gratitudes.
It's so good to see you all here on this sunny morning, and I know you came here for warmth and love. This is a day, I say this is winter in Florida, and I came from Minnesota, so this is fabulous. At this time, we invite you to come forward and briefly share with us your joys, sorrows, or gratitude, and I know Frank is grateful to be here.
Right, I just want to thank the congregation for their cards and well wishes in the wake of my eye surgery. And I want to thank my partner, Nicole, for helping me through it. Thank you.
We're very grateful your surgery went well, and it's good to have you both back with us. Does anyone else have joy or sorrow or gratitude to share today? Cameron.
Good morning, everyone. On Friday, I lost my father of 80 years. So it is a sorrow and a joy that I had him for that long.
We hold you in our hearts.
I'm here to say I'm thankful that my brother Frank is doing much better, and thank you, Nicole. Also, I had to go up north. I'm taking care of my ex-husband, and we have been through horrible. He got COVID, I got COVID, he got double pneumonia. It's been really bad. But I want you all to keep him in your thoughts, because the quicker he gets better, the faster I can get back to Florida. Also, my sister-in-law has been through a lot and is still suffering from some surgery she went through. So if you'd keep her in our thoughts too. So thank you.
You want to light a candle?
No, of course I do.
I'm going to light a candle in appreciation of the fact that some of our friends from UUCFM are here today. They came for our special celebration of MLK Day, and because Abdul Muhammed is here. And I have the great joy of welcoming our guest speaker today, Abdul Muhammed. Now, he's been a friend of this congregation and Wayne Robinson for over 20 years. And he exemplifies his sermon that he's giving today about building for a better tomorrow. And he exemplifies, would you come here and stand up with me, Abdul Haq? All right. Now, he demonstrates the possibility of doing what you want. This man played basketball with Kareem Abdul
Jabbar.
He played basketball with it. Huh? Now, if that isn't a demonstration of the art of possibility, okay, we're so.
Don't figure that.
Yeah, okay. So I'm happy to have him here. And then I've been asked, Annalie Hudanik was planning to be here today to give a testimonial and launch of our pledge drive and why she appreciates All Faiths and makes her pledge to donate generously, but she's not able to be with us. So they asked me to remind you, we have started our pledge drive for the next fiscal year. And one of the ways you can express your gratitude for what we have here at All Faiths and all of the activities and services and outreach is to financially support our organization. So we have pledge forms at the table, and also Regina sent out some pledge forms you can easily fill out on the computer and send in. So we do appreciate your generous support for everything that we do here. And I'm lighting this candle for all of you who have joys, sorrows, and gratitude in your hearts.
Joyce, I think you wanted to come up.
I just want to thank everyone for your generosity for the McGregor Clinic. My car is overflowing, and they really appreciate. There's so many people in need. There's so many people that have lost their households, and they have to start over. And we really, on behalf of them, I really thank you. I'm very grateful. It's a generous place here, and you put your money where your mouth is. You're very wonderful. I thank you so much.
And Joyce, we thank you all the many years that you've been collecting and delivering to McGregor Clinic. It's a great blessing. Sharon.
Okay. My name is Sharon Gray, and the gratitude kind of hit me in late October, early November. I had my son Jason and his wife Tony from the Central Coast of California out to help me with some hurricane damage, and particularly with my daughter who lives a few blocks away. Well, their town, Los Osos, which is on the Central Coast in California near Morro Bay, some people might know that tourist place. Los Osos got off easy. They were only surrounded by water. Morro Bay, the next town, really had floods as bad as, not a storm surge quite, but you know, everything was overflowing, and there was a 5-year-old in Paso Robles, which is not far, who was literally torn away from his mother's hand in the floods. They've not even found him yet, and now California has gotten hit pretty badly. But I'm grateful that they are okay.
Thank you, Sharon. So I hope that you go forth this week with much gratitude in your, oh, we have someone else. Come ahead. There's my hat lady, Gators supporter.
We have a full house. This is wonderful, isn't it? Okay, I am grateful for a friend of mine at the YMCA. She, like I, goes and exercises. She had this beautiful Gators hand-knitted jacket with sleeves long enough for the world's longest arms. Oh, anyway, I am so grateful to her for sharing this with me. And I'm grateful for 45 degrees because you cannot wear this at just any old time.
And Linda, we're grateful for your handling our hospitality every Sunday. Isn't it great to be grateful? Love you all.
I believe this time we're going to do our new member recognition. If Marge and DeGalbo and Fran Way would like to come forwards, and I'd like to invite our new members also to come forward to be welcomed by our congregation.
Today, we welcome into our community new members who have chosen to make a commitment to this congregation. Those who are joining today are listed in your order of service. Yeah. Please let me introduce, well, we all know Emmy Spiller. We have Nicole Racine and Frank Geltner and Ken Malkin, right? New members, we are so glad to have you here with us and that you have chosen this community of fellow seekers to travel with you on your life's journeys. Will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalist women and men who spread hope with our living faith? Will you engage with us as we seek to create a community and a world dedicated to love and justice? Congregation, please welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship with the words printed in your order of service. In the bonds of fellowship
and love, we
we
unite.
unite to cultivate reverence, to promote spiritual growth and critical commitment, to minister to each other's needs and to those of humanity,
to celebrate the sacred moments of life's passage, and to honor the holiness at the heart of being.
We welcome you to the community with all our hearts.
On behalf of the congregation, we are happy to offer you the right hand of fellowship and welcome you with all the rights and responsibilities of membership. I would just add, this is a special moment to shake the hand of the very first teen member of our congregation.
Welcome. Okay, slight change up in our order of service because of that. Now we're going to go back and sing, I believe, Go Now in Peace, as our children can now leave for our Child and Youth program with Kathy Fanning. Go now in peace, go now in peace, may the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. And now I'd like to ask everyone to close your eyes, to take a deep breath, and let us turn our minds and our hearts over to today's service and to contemplate our blessings and our being here today. Thank you. Please rise and bow to your spirit as we sing together hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Our opening words this morning are from Dreams, written by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow.
There's an old man called the Mississippi. There's an old man I would like to be. What does he care if the world's got troubles? What does he care if the land ain't free? Oh, old man river, that old man river, he don't say nothing, he must know something, he just keeps rolling, keeps on rolling along. He don't plant potatoes, he don't plant cotton, but them that something are food forgotten. But old man river, he just keeps rolling along. You and me, we sweat and strain, bodies all aching and racked with pain. Tote that barge, lift that bale, get a little drunk, and you land in jail. Now I get weary and sick of trying. I'm tired of living and feared of dying. But old man river, he just keeps rolling along.
Thank you, Bob and Carlos. I'm going to do my best to get through this reading. It's one of my favorites, but I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair, I say to you today, my friends. And so, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain and the crooked places made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope, and this is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. And this will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring." And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so, let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that. Let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain in Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, and when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last." Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 148, "Let Freedom Span Both East and West." Again, the words are printed in your order of service.
Let freedom span both east and west, and love both south and north, in universal fellowship throughout the whole wide earth. In beauty, wonder everywhere, let us communion find. Compassion be the golden cord, close binding humankind. Beyond all barriers of race, of color, caste, and creed, let us make friendship, human worth, our common faith and need. Then east and west will meet and share, and south shall build with north, one human commonwealth of good throughout the whole wide earth.
I give the greetings in the traditional Islamic manner, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. And I'm not surprised that you knew how to respond. This congregation here was built upon the vision of people who are inclusive, people who recognize the universal order of things, the unity of people, the unity of faith, the unity of all created matter, on the shoulders and vision of Dr. Wayne Robinson, who I'm so happy to see here today, and his lovely wife, Joyce. This congregation has envisioned its presence to have an influence in this community of Fort Myers, Southwest Florida, and indeed it has. He has been a mentor to me. I've learned much from this congregation, from the Unitarian Universalist tradition. Through the process of mitosis, here we are. All Faiths Congregation. It is a message in its title. It's saying inclusion. It's saying recognizing the universality of humanity. It's saying that we're welcoming the faith traditions all over the world. Upon his vision, many of you are here today. And my good friend Jim Nathan and Karen are here because the birthing of this congregation had his presence, who is another mentor of mine. Their love, their involvement has had a major impact on the work that I've been doing over the years here in this community, whether known as the Q or Quality Life Center. I'd like to begin my comments by a couple of remarks, but it always, if you know me, I'm very grateful. I believe in gratitude. I believe that gratitude is the prerequisite of progress. And too often it is easy for us to become disturbed, influenced by hatred, disappointment, uncertainty, to find a ugliness. Though we may have these labels of Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Jew, Buddhist, etc., the influences of the world often proves to dominate what we profess our faith traditions are. So through the lens of hurt and pain that can be seen in Jerusalem today, still people who identify with the tradition of Judaism and Christianity and Islam are in conflict because they are not speaking through the lens of their faith, they are speaking through the lens of their hurt and their pain and their disappointment, and yes, even their oppression. And it often is very difficult. As a young man, I can remember Dr. King advocating turning the other cheek, loving your enemy. It was truly a dissonance in my ear at the time, and my ear gravitated to El Hajj Malik El-Shabaz's message. Growing up in Harlem, it seemed like a clearly defined alternative for the experiences of people in color, particularly African Americans, were experiencing during that time. But as we study and we learn in our various faith traditions, if you took the time to study, as I know many of you have, certainly Wayne Robinson has, you will discover that there's a common denominator in all of the faith traditions. That common denominator addresses what I think would be the solution to the crisis in the world. I begin my brief comments today by reading from a book entitled Bridge to the Soul. Some of you may be familiar. I know my good friend Joyce here is familiar with the writings and the works of Rumi. I'd like to read just something briefly in the introduction. This is a poem, Bridge, Poem, Awareness, Moving Through. Rumi's place in history of religion is as a bridge between faiths. The story of his funeral, 1273, is well known. Representatives came from every religion: Muslims, Christians, Jews, Buddhists, and Hindu. When questioned about this, they responded, "He deepened us wherever we are." He deepened us wherever we are. I believe that's what this congregation's vision and mission has been and is today. regardless of wherever you come from, to deepen your relationship with your Lord. Deepen wherever you are. Rumi lives in the heart, the core, he might call its friendship, of our impulse to praise and to worship, to explore the mystery of unity. Even his name is a bridge word. Rumi is understood to be a person, some call him a Sufi, but if you study deeply, you know that his faith comes from the tradition of Islam. The Islamic tradition makes it clear in the tradition of Muhammad the Prophet, may peace be upon him, with a message rooted in the Quran, which is the book of guidance of all Muslims, that faith, that is understood in the Arabic language from amana, which means faith and also security. It means faith and trust. Sometimes we have faith which we pronounce, but we don't rely on what that faith tradition is espousing. When you embrace faith, every Muslim understands, Rumi understood in his upbringing and his traditional understanding, that that faith must be first felt in the heart. It must be carried out by the limbs. It must be spoken through the tongue. If we have that basic framework and understanding, then you know that your heart causes you to reflect and to ponder and to recognize something deeper than what you may be experiencing and living. What is the purpose of us gathering on a Sunday or a Saturday or a Friday? It is to remind us of our faith, to remind us of our special relationship with the Creator, to remind us of some being, some existence, some power. You may even just simply say the force, but you know that there's a power that moves your heart, tells you what you should be doing despite the contradictions of our actions. Faith must be felt in the heart, carried out by the limbs, action, deeds, spoken with the tongue. A part of that basic faith tradition and framework in the Islamic faith, the next level is to get to know your neighbor. You must know your neighbor in front of you, behind you, to your right and left. You must get to know them, not just simply know their names on a mailbox, but take a moment and acquaint yourself with them, interact with them, get to know them. And in the tradition of Islam, it even goes deeper, because Muhammad the Prophet, may peace be upon him, has said that you and I don't really know each other unless we live with each other, or work with each other, or travel with each other. So that challenges those who profess faith, but when you examine those concepts that is given, you can find that in all of the sacred texts. We're challenged and distracted by global conflicts, sense of dominance, rulership out of fear, and as a result, what we profess to truly believe gets lost. Why do we come here? To remind ourselves of our purpose, to remind ourselves of why we are breathing and living and for what purpose. It certainly can't not be the acquisition of wealth only. We see where that gets us. We know where that's going and have been. It certainly can't be thinking that we are secure because we are over other people, that we're dominant over other people. It certainly can't be that. So as we study our sacred text, we eventually will discover that there will be a connection with our purpose. This congregation is an aging congregation. We all have some gray. I think I had a little, Wayne, when I first met you. But we all have gray, symbolic of our years, our experiences, our disappointments, our lessons, how we've grown. We're to be reminded that we're to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Sound familiar? The cantankerous lawyer in Scripture challenging the man from Nazareth, saying, how do I attain this life after death? And the response ultimately was to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So we can question, who are our neighbors? It's the person in front of you, to the right and left and behind. It's not a description of one's hue or nationality. It's the universal connection that beats as your heart beats. That soul that has been created. In the tradition of Islam, Prophet Muhammad has this beautiful saying that I don't think most Muslims understand. He asked a question. Do you know what is better than charity, fasting, and prayer? It is keeping peace and good relations between people, as quarrels and bad habits, bad feelings destroy mankind. This is a powerful statement for people in the faith tradition called Islam, because sometimes we worship prayer as opposed to understanding that prayer is the maintenance program to connect you to your Lord, that is to result in good deeds and practices in relationship with one another. Sometimes we put so much emphasis on fasting that it dominates in clouds. And if we don't pray 5 times a day, if we don't fast with the frequency of the tradition, then we're somewhere off in our faith. And if our charity is not quite up to par, we've lost something. Muhammad the Prophet, may peace be upon him, was known to be a very disciplined and orderly but yet compassionate human being. Most Americans have no clue. If you take the time, you will discover what I believe all faiths congregations' mission is: to bring humanity together but yet have a participation in this democracy to make it whole and sound for all humanity. If you understood his life, you would appreciate it more. This is reminding us that we do not get hung up on rituals, but the objective is keeping the peace. Keeping the peace is important. Keeping the peace is special. Keeping the peace is the objective. There was a scientist that gave us some insights. I first read about this aspect in this study from a psychologist called Frantz Fanon back in the days, in the 60s. That name may ring familiar to you, Roy Kinnicks. Frantz Fanon said sometimes people hold a core belief that is very strong. When they are presented with evidence that works against that belief, The new evidence cannot be accepted. It would create a feeling that is extremely uncomfortable. It's called cognitive dissonance. He continues and says, because it is so important to protect the core belief, they will rationalize, ignore, and deny anything that doesn't fit in with that core belief. This is what we're dealing with on a daily basis. I've had clergy tell me, Muhammad, I'm a closet Muslim. Because through their study, you can't study this faith, religion of the world, without coming in alignment with what Islam truly teaches. In other words, there's a conflict. We say things, but the human being does differently. That's our challenge. The cognitive dissonance, that was written about in 1957 in a book by its author, a psychologist, Leo Festinger. He makes the point that a theory of cognitive dissonance, he writes it as a powerful force that motivates us to act to remedy the conflicting actions and belief. All Faith's congregation is about being open-minded about ideas that may conflict with what you historically have been involved in. I was surprised maybe 15 years ago or so. I came earlier than the congregation normally meets at 10:30, and there was a group of people talking about creating their own religion. Well, as a practicing Muslim, I thought that was blasphemy. I was a little concerned. Where did I come? What is Wayne teaching, perhaps? Should I be here? These are nice people. They support Quality Life Center. They show their generosity. They seem to be with the program, but creating your own religion, I had some differences there. At which point I had my own dissonance with understanding what they were talking about. As I continue to study, as all of you do, if you study broadly, you will begin to see, as I said earlier, the universality of all faith traditions. Yes, faith traditions are established at different periods of time, from antiquity even to this period of time, but yet people behave in various ways. People may behave in their faith tradition based on the social, political conditions, the environment they come from, the challenges that they are experiencing. It's easy for that faith to be influenced to address those environmental oppositions, conflicts that people are experiencing. And yet it is difficult to really understand what those people really believe. Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, Malcolm X, when he made the pilgrimage to Mecca, he saw the universality of the faith of Islam. He prayed next to Europeans. He talked about white Muslims. It blew his mind. He didn't understand that initially. But he understood the global understanding, the universality of faith. And I dare say that you're in a very good place right here to experience and to reconcile your conflicts with your dissonance. I conclude my comment because I need to be as clear as possible. The topic today, when Joyce Romaine asked me, well, what are you going to talk about? And I gave her something fairly generic. Today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. And isn't that what we're doing when we come every Sunday and we worship? This is an opportunity to examine yourself, to see whether or not you're in alignment with what you profess to believe. I don't only mean spiritually or religiously, but ethically. whether or not the ethics that you embrace are in alignment with what you profess to believe. You see, the human being has a tendency to stray. That's what the world history has taught us. And from time to time, there are people who come who inspire human beings. Some of them called prophets, some of them called saints, some of them called just people of inspiration. But what continues to happen is that there will be men and women who come to inspire, to challenge the norms, to correct the injustices, because that is a part of our nature. That is the right thing to do. So if you're about to do this, as I conclude, consider first forgiving yourself for the choices you have made when you didn't know you had better options in your life. Sometimes we make terrible choices because what's before us appears to be the only thing or way out. And as time passes, you discover you could have made some better choices. Examine that and begin to forgive yourself. It's important that we consider asking ourselves honestly, does this decision I'm making now, is this action supporting the life that I want? All of us may have made different commitments to live a certain life. And as you journey throughout that life, there are going to be things that will be conflicting with your values and your principles. Ask yourself along the way honestly, is this decision or choice that I'm about to make is in alignment with my purpose, my vision? And the third is so important for all of us that I think truly is a prerequisite of progress, advancement, self-improvement, and personal discovery. The simple thing of gratitude. To wake up in the morning and value your breath of life. If you profess to believe in a faith or in a creator, then thank that creator in the morning. Spend time reflecting, pondering, reading your sacred text. Get connected. And every time you read your sacred text, you know how much you have been disconnected. Because your sacred text will speak to you. It will speak to your soul. It will touch your heart. It will touch your inner core. And when I say the heart, for our medical community, I don't mean that muscle that beats has 4 chambers. You see, it's important that we do understand that sacred text speaks in metaphors, symbols. It speaks in different ways. You have to understand the text. That heart is the core of your being. That heart is telling you constantly what you should be doing even though you choose not to do it. That heart is communicating to you so deeply and clearly that that will cause a human being to age prematurely. That heart speaks and knows what you should be doing. And if you can cultivate that awareness by just simply listening and following the heart, you will discover you can stay on course with your purpose. Now, this is not to forget about the intellect. The intellect is important. The intellect and the heart communicates. The heart and the mind, the intellect. It protects itself. But listen to that heart. And I think all of you know what I mean. And if you listen to that heart, then you know what you got to do, what actions you got to take, what behavior you should be about, and what your speech should communicate. And yes, Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Reach across the aisle and recognize we're all one humanity. On the day of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as we celebrate and acknowledge his contribution to the world, let us remember that though he was not sure all the time, his heart compelled him to meet the world challenges and to challenge the ugly. He might not have been the most enlightened person in the bunch, but he had the courage. And many will say he was the most enlightened because his heart was alive. And in Scripture, in Proverbs, it talks about the heart has streams going through it. I say to you today as we conclude, not only celebrating the spirit, the energy, the contribution made by Dr. King, and many of you who have followed him and marched with him. I'm sure there's some here. May God bless you, but remember the dream and keep it alive, not just symbolically, not just talk, but through the heart, the limbs, and the tongue. Keep it alive. May God bless you. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Praise be to God. Praise be to God. Praise be to God. I want to gift this to the congregation. It's a gift from. But I think you can hear me. I need to say this. I'm gifting this congregation. It's not the first time, but I'm gifting this congregation on behalf of the Center for Islam and Cultural Awareness. It's a Muslim community, Islamic community locally, and we're gifting this congregation with the Quran. And if ever you would like, we would be happy to come and do study sessions so that you could become more aware and appreciate your neighbor. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
The offering will now be given. Taken. Thank you.
Swing low, sweet chariot, come for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, tell all my friends, coming for to carry me home. I'm coming to carry me home.
Oh,
Ring low, sweet chariot,
when the
coming
saints
for to
go
carry
marching
me
in.
home.
Oh,
Ring
Lord, I
low,
want to be
sweet
in that number
chariot,
when the
coming
saints
for to
go
carry me
marching
home. Sometimes I'm up and sometimes I'm down, coming for to carry me home. But still I know I'm heavenly bound, coming for to carry me home.
Oh,
Swing low, sweet chariot,
when the
coming
saints
for to
go
carry
marching
me
in.
home.
Oh,
Swing
Lord, I
low,
want to be in
sweet
that number
chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you for helping us today to build a better tomorrow with our donations to All Faiths. And forgot to mention, if you are with us on our live stream service, you can mail checks or visit our website at www.allfaithsuu.org. Here are our closing words by Rosa Parks. You must never be fearful about what you are doing when it is right. Each person must live their life as a model for others. I would like to be remembered as a person who wanted to be free so other people would also be free. I think she accomplished that.
I close my eyes, drew back the curtain to see for certain what I thought I knew. Far, far away, someone was weeping, but the world was sleeping. Any dream will do. I wore my coat, with the golden lining, bright colors shining, wonderful and new. And in the east, the dawn was breaking, and the world was waking. Any dream will do.
Clash of drums, a flash of light, my golden coat drew out of sight. The colors faded into darkness, I was left alone.
May I return to the beginning. The light is dimming, and the world is too. The world and I, we are still waiting, still hesitating. Any dream will do. Any dream will do. Any dream will do.
Well, we would certainly like to thank Abdul Muhammed for your inspiring message. That was great. I want to thank Carlos and Bob for the music, Regina and Sharon, on camera today, and Ed Elrod on sound, Joe Gayton, our sexton, Joyce Schaefer for the flowers behind me, and Linda Bigelow for our hospitality and our friendly greeters. It is so good to be connected and to be present in whatever way that we can. As Carol comes forward to extinguish our chalice, if you would please join in reciting the words at the bottom of your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Please join us for a conversation, coffee and cookies in the social hall to follow. Thank you.